Hello, this is Elena with the Carnas Media team. On last week's episode, we spoke about the somewhat touchy subject of plastic surgery and how people from different nations perceive it here in Korea. If you haven't seen the whole video yet, you can click here and watch it right now. On this week's episode, we learn more about the pros and cons of living in Korea and in the home countries of the people that we spoke to. What about some of the biggest pros and some of the biggest cons of living here in Korea?
It's so safe compared to my home country, unfortunately. I really enjoy every day just not having that constant fear of someone's going to grab your bag or something. Maybe that's also a country thing, but I can walk around at night time and drive my bicycle to a shop and come back and my stuff will still be in my little bicycle's basket.
There's internet, there's affordable transportation, the subway is very cheap, you can take bus to everywhere in Korea. And apart from that, a good health system and the social system is also working very well.
I think the pros of living in Korea is a good opportunity to experience other cultures versus the United States or Europe. You get an opportunity to see a lot of different types of cultures here, from all around the Middle East, all the way down to Southeast Asia. You don't see as much of that cultural difference in the United States and actually get a chance to experience it.
People overall are nice, and I love my job. I like it that I get to travel a good deal since I'm already in Asia and Korea is like not far from so many places.
Living here in a big city is wonderful because everything is convenient. You can have things delivered, there's always a taxi, there's always a subway station.
Pros would be, good food, good culture, lots of exploring.
I find it really cheap to live here, and the transportation is amazing. I can go anywhere so cheaply by taking the subway or taking a bus. That's really nice. And everything is open all night. I also, being from a small town, everything closes at like 10 o'clock. So here, everything is open all the time and you can get around easily.
The pros are a lot because a lot of people are friendlier. They're more willing to help you, even if the language barrier comes into play. Definitely the helping factor.
The people are very warm and friendly and accepting, so it's very good to meet friendly people and to speak English. Many of the Koreans desire to talk to a Westerner or a foreigner so they can practice their English skills.
Of course, one of the pros is that everyone is super nice. It's a very friendly country. It's a very safe place to be in. It's open 24 hours. You can find just about anything any time of the night. So the internet is amazing. So there's a lot of pros.
I like the public transport here. It's actually very nice. We don't have that, at least where I'm from in the U.S. Everyone just owns cars and drives everywhere.
I get nice health insurance through my job. That's not really a thing that happens in America. For me, of course, the big pro is like being here and just being able to practice my Korean.
Getting paid well to teach English is a good pro. My hours are good.
My job is not too difficult. It allows me to live a comfortable lifestyle, and I'm pretty satisfied with my job and my life.
There's just so many things to do here that I'm just really happy being able to explore, and I live close to Namsan, and that's my favorite thing about living in Seoul.
So without your favorite place in Korea would be
That is my favorite place in the world.
Overall, it's just a really inviting, warm culture, and so I kind of appreciate that.
The thing that sometimes irritates me is Korean driving. I've had an accident where a woman just drove into my car, and in general I feel it's just like everywhere, no indicators, no nothing.
Well, definitely one of the cons, it can get pretty busy and sometimes the people can be a little pushy.
The cons, obviously, you're far away, and then sometimes people aren't too foreign friendly. They just won't talk to you. But the truth is that they're just scared of making mistakes when they speak. So they'd rather not approach you. So you just have to be very open-minded and approach them and say hello, greet them.
One big thing is I'm gay, and so being gay in Korea is quite difficult. I don't know. It's really interesting hearing kind of even the way the students talk about it. It comes up sometimes, and they're quite judgmental, and so I think that's the biggest con for me personally. But it's not that important to me right now. I'm young. I'm not trying to date really. I'm just here to live and do stuff. So I don't know.
Their addiction to phone, and they don't talk to anybody. At least, sometimes you need to meet people, smile and talk to people. That's what I really don't like. They need to be more social and talk to foreigners and get along and learn about different cultures. I think it will be very good.
The language, because I met people where they don't really speak English and it's quite difficult for us. And also the sign, on the road, you cannot really see the English signs.
If you live here, you don't speak Korean, you find it very hard to interact with people. And that's the biggest problem for me.
Korean culture is very isolated to Korea itself, and so it's hard for a foreigner or a Westerner to be fully accepted as a Korean, but you can be accepted as a Korean friend.
The best thing, I think it's very hard there to find the best thing living in Korea.
That's good. Have been enjoying a lot.
Yeah, I have enjoyed a lot.
I guess not having a car and having to rely on taxis and the train, that'd be a bad thing.
Language has been really hard since coming here because this is like my first time in a country where I literally did not speak any of the language coming in, so that was pretty difficult.
The cons maybe would be that we don't speak Korean much. That's one thing that at least we should try to adapt to.
I sometimes really, like the other day, I really wanted cornflakes and Cheerios, and you can't really find that here. All the cereal's like really sweet, so sometimes you can miss the food from home, and it's really hard to get here unless you have connections at the army base.
Now that I'm married, I have more freedom. But before I got married, I was like a slave to that job. If I break my contract, I couldn't really go anywhere else. I had to stay with them. But yeah, that was probably a big con.
The language barrier is difficult. Most of the time, I can get by. It's not too hard. But sometimes,
Pizza's too expensive. That's a big con. Pizza Hut, Papa John's, they're just killing it out here.
Well, Chicagoans are known to be very friendly. People just greet you all the time, or if you need help, if they see you with a big map, they're gonna assist you. At least that's what I would do, and many people do.
In my country too, we have freedom of speech. It's very friendly. It's the only country that has never gone to any civil war in Africa. We have a democratic country, and we have really good food and good size.
The advantage of living back home, there's much more nature, much more animals, many more trees, much more mountains. There's not a lot of nature in a big city like this.
The cons and pros about living in Korea.
I see the good thing only.
Okay. What would that be?
Here is working is little hard in Korea.
Working is hard, okay.
But also no problem for any person here. You are working everything here. No problem.